everyone, and welcome to your home for all of the inside stories on Maryland athletics. This is Terrapin Timeout. We are your hosts. I am Brian Nill.
And I'm Camille Moore, and we have a bunch of stories for you guys today. Our first one is about a man who is a defense attorney by day and a Maryland wrestling superfan come match time. Our reporter Matt Present has that story for us today.
Thanks, guys. It was a tough first season for Maryland wrestling in the Big Ten, but the fan support, it didn't waver, especially from this man.
Roar! Roar!
His voice is unyielding, relentless.
No, I'm not saying anything negative. I'm cheering on our guys.
He bellows with encouragement and has nicknames for all the wrestlers.
What can Brown do for you?
And I see this guy, older guy, he's like doing stairs. I'm like, why is he doing stairs? And then he just starts like yelling and like chanting and all this stuff.
Brown first encountered Ficker while at a summer camp at Cole Fieldhouse.
A lot of the teammates told me like, yeah, that's Robin Ficker.
Ficker's heckling began in the 80s at then Washington Bullets games. He used to get under the skin of Charles Barkley.
When Charles Barkley said that he didn't need vegetables, I'd bring all the vegetables to the game and say, Charles, you got a little spring onion step.
Barkley was so impressed, he personally hired Ficker to chastise his 1993 NBA Finals opponent. That's right, Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. But for the Terps, it's not just an advantage at home. Ficker travels to all the away matches as well, which gives guys like Shaheem Brown the confidence they need to take down their opponent.
Like you can pick out his voice out of everyone else's just because he's literally shouting the entire time.
Some people like him, some people don't. I know our guys like to have that energy.
Steamroller Mascola, you got any potholes in Iowa? He'll fill them in. You want your driveway fixed? Steamroller Mascola will fix it.
As a local defense attorney, Ficker knows how to sell himself to a jury. And in this courtroom, he hasn't lost one yet. Ficker prides himself on always keeping it clean. He's never drank alcohol or cursed at a match, but that doesn't mean he doesn't try to get in the head of an opponent. Guys, back to you.
It cracks me up every single time to see him behind Michael Jordan. Come on, that's hilarious. And just to put it into perspective, Ficker is 71 years old right now, and he's still going strong.
That is unbelievable. Well, next we're going to move outdoors, where Adam Ackelson has a story on Maryland's newest softball head coach, who has returned to Maryland to try and lead them to the promised land.
It's been a struggle the last couple of years for Maryland softball. So how do you return to your winning ways? Well, you bring back a face from your past.
It's Maryland softball's first year in the Big Ten. It's also Courtney Scott Deifel's first swing as a head coach. However, this is not her first time roaming the dugouts in College Park.
I just loved my time here at Maryland.
Scott Deifel spent 2 seasons as an assistant coach at Maryland before leaving for the same position at Louisville in July of 2010. She would spend 4 seasons there.
Anytime you make a change, it's really tough.
But it was also rewarding. Scott Deifel helped Louisville to 176 wins in her 4 seasons, including presiding over the 4th-ranked pitching staff en route to a 55-5 record in 2012.
I learned a lot, and it made me ready to come back here and be a head coach.
Her experience working at Maryland definitely made the decision to come back simpler.
The opportunity to be a head coach obviously stood out tremendously, but to do it at a place I was familiar with and I loved so much the first time around, it was really a no-brainer for me.
Many of Coach Scott Deifel's colleagues around the country have praised Maryland for their hire, which is why the Terps are expecting this reunion to be a home run.
It's been a long road for Scott Deifel, but she's finally back at a place she calls home.
Coach Scott Deifel's main goal in her first season was for the team to be competitive. Well, they've done that and more, already topping last season's win total almost midway through the season. Now back to you guys, Brian and Camille.
And I really do think Coach Scott Deifel has what it takes to bring those Terps to that next level.
I agree. Once a Terp, always a Terp, Brian.
Always.
And speaking about comebacks, let's talk about Maryland lacrosse player Ashley Wilkes. Not after suffering not 1, not 2, but 3 ACL injuries. She's back on the field, and Amanda Black has that story for us.
Thanks, Brian and Camille. For our next story, we'll go to an athlete who may not be the luckiest girl in the world, but she's determined to get back on the field after tearing her ACL 3 times.
ACL, 3 letters that can make any athlete cringe. A season-ending and in some cases career-ending injury. But for one Maryland athlete, she would overcome the dreaded injury not once, not twice, but 3 times. Ashley Wilkes is a top-notch club lacrosse player, but that isn't always what she aspired to be.
I think I'm a good example of someone who's willing to risk everything they had in order to play a sport that they love.
Wilkes first tore her ACL as a high school sophomore. After surgery and a year of difficult rehab, she returned only to have it happen again.
But nevertheless, Wilkes was determined to get back to the sport she loved.
She took the field again her senior year, but as luck would have it, she tore her ACL again, only this time refusing surgery and miraculously hobbled through her senior season.
My doctor and my teammates all thought that I was crazy to step back on the field, but I knew that it was probably going to be my last chance to play.
Today, Wilkes is captain of Maryland's club lacrosse team, and 2 long scars on her knees serve as a visual reminder of her journey.
It's pretty amazing she can run, let alone play lacrosse without the cutting and moving. She acts like nothing even happened.
It may not be the same as varsity, but Wilkes is content and wouldn't change anything about her experience in College Park.
Well, that story was inspiring. We wish Ashley the best of luck in her upcoming season. Back to you guys.
Really inspirational.
Absolutely astonishing to have the guts to come back from something like that.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, all right, so now we're going to take it to the baseball diamond where Dan Servadidio has a story of 2 frenemies who are competing in the infield.
Thanks, guys. When Kevin Smith and Andrew Bechtold first came here to Shipley Field, they were both high school standouts. Smith from New York and Bechtold from Pennsylvania, they came here to College Park to start at shortstop for the Maryland baseball team. Little did they know, in the process, they would become friends and roommates. Here's their story.
When Kevin Smith and Andrew Bechtold first met, they soon found out they had more in common than just baseball. The 2 freshmen got along right away on their official visit to Maryland 2 years ago.
Me and him come from very similar backgrounds, similar families. We're great friends, we talk a lot, hang out a lot.
Now, Smith and Bechtold are roommates, and ironically, each other's competition. They were both standout shortstops at their respective high schools before coming to College Park.
When guys like that come in, they're used to being the stars everywhere they've been, and now some of them have to sit and watch a little bit, and it's tough.
9 games into the season, Smith has started 8 at short, while Bechtold has seen most of his playing time come at first base.
I didn't start playing first until about 2 weeks before the season started, and right now I'm just trying to help the team win the best that I can. And I know, I've talked to Coach Jeff, I know I'm going to get my time, on the left side of the diamond where I play.
As time wore on, it became really apparent that it was important for us to get them both in the lineup at the same time, both defensively and offensively.
The infielders say the competition hasn't affected their friendship or their expectations for the season.
I think it's just we both want to play. We both want to help the team win, whether it was me at first, him at short, or, him at first, me at short. I think we both just wanted to get in and contribute to the team in whatever way we could. I just wanted to compete as a freshman. I'm not one that likes to sit around and wait my turn. I want to get out there. I want to be an impact.
Former freshman All-Americans Mike Shawarn and Brandon Lau helped lead the Terps to a program record 40 wins and a first-ever Super Regional appearance last season. Coach John Sheff says he expects this year's rookies to make a similar impact.
Well, I think any good program is going to have freshmen in their lineup because you're going to lose good players. We're going to lose good players this year. We will have multiple guys drafted.
Despite their coach's expectations, Smith and Bechtold know they need to earn their spot on the 12th-ranked Terps.
There's not that much pressure put on us to make big plays, get the big hit. I think it's more, we just got to do our job and do the little things right, to do the scrap work for now.
Whether they're friends or not, these Maryland freshmen will play a key role in how well the Terps do in their first season in the Big Ten Conference.
Wow, I give credit to Smith and Bechtold because I know if I was trying to win a starting job on this team, it might get a little nasty. Back to you guys.
That really shows how close that team is, that those 2 can compete for the same position and still be such good friends.
Definitely. There's nothing wrong with a little healthy competition now and then, right? Well, that'll about do it for Terrapin Timeout. I'm Camille Moore.
And I'm Brian Nill. We hope you enjoyed the show.